Are you unsure on how to use some of these new Pokemon competitively? Well, allow me to lend you a helping hand. Hey guys, so today we're gonna go over Armarouge. Now, Armarouge is a really cool Pokemon. I love the whole vibe of this thing ever since I first saw it in the trailer. Armarouge is the evolution of Charcadet that's exclusive to Scarlet, so if you don't have this, hit up a buddy in Scarlet and they'll probably get you one. Now before we get into it, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. A lot of people that watch my videos still haven't subscribed. I do this full time and it helps me out so much more than you know, so like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think of this kind of a series. Now back to the video. When we look at the stats, we can see something pretty cool, and that's that the special attack is definitely formidable. 125 can definitely pack quite a punch. The speed is nothing to write home about, but it's a middling tier, which actually gives this Pokemon a special niche that I'll go into later in the video. Having 100 on the defense and 80 on the special defense with a decent 85 HP gives you some pretty good natural bulk as well. You're likely not going to go down to many neutral hits on this Pokemon. The attack being 60 is nothing to really worry about. You're not going to be using that stat anyway. This Pokemon is definitely a special attacker, especially because of its signature move. Now you are a fire and psychic type, which is the same as Delphox. It's nothing too incredible, but it's actually pretty good offensively. Those steel types that resist your psychic moves definitely don't want to swap in on a fire attack. You do have two abilities that work pretty well, especially with Terra in the current game. Flash Fire is a great ability. It stops fire attacks from hitting you and it boosts your fire attacks by 1.5 damage if you're hit by a fire move. Now, getting a fire immunity isn't that amazing on a fire type. It is pretty nice and it can boost your damage output, but the beauty of Terra is if you're to change into something else and have the immunity to fire, it's actually really strong. And then as the hidden ability, we have Weak Armor. Now, Weak Armor is actually a really solid ability. It lowers your defenses and boosts your speed. It's really niche, but there are some sets that we can use that definitely work around this ability. Speaking of sets, let's dive into some. I have a fair few for you today. Now the first set is a doubles choice scarf set, and this set is actually really good. It's usually paired with something like Indeedee for the psychic terrain, and that helps you take advantage of that with Expanding Force. Expanding Force is a psychic move that, if used in psychic terrain, has its power increased and hits both opponents on the enemy side of the field. This, with a helping hand from Indeedee, can be really tough to deal with or to switch into if you don't have any dark types on your team. You also have Heat Wave for another stab spread move. You have Armor Cannon, which is the signature move we mentioned earlier. This is essentially a special close combat but with fire. It's a 120 base power move with 100% accuracy and it lowers your defenses. This thing packs a hell of a punch. There's definitely not much that wants to switch into this move. And then you have Aura Sphere, and the reason I have Aura Sphere on here is because something a lot of people may not notice is this Pokemon is actually walled by Flashfire Houndoom. Of all Pokemon, you're not going to see that around, but hey, if a meta ever forms where they're using Flashfire Houndoom because Armarouge is too strong, you're gonna love that you have Aura Sphere to hit that thing with. We're running Flashfire because there's no use for weak armor on this build. We already have the increased speed from the Choice Scarf, we don't need that boost, we may as well keep the defenses and survive as long as we can. We're going the Timid Nature to maximize the speed, and it's just max speed and max special attack on the EVs. It's very simple, it's a really simple Choice Scarf build. We're going Terra Psychic because we want to get the most damage we can out of those expanding forces. That's kind of what this build wants to do. It wants to be in psychic terrain next to Indeedee and just fire off helping hand boosted expanding forces. It's really strong, and definitely try this out on your teams. Next up we have another really strong set, and this is usually paired with Indeedee as well. This is the Weakness Policy Weak Armor set. So the key to this set is you want to use a Pokemon to proc the Weakness Policy and switch out into Indeedee, getting the terrain up, and again firing off expanding forces. So this is stronger than the Choice Scarf set, but it's a lot harder to pull off. You essentially want to pair your Armarouge with a U-turn Pokemon, use Terra Psychic to give yourself that bug weakness, U-turn out into Indeedee, giving you the terrain, you'll get a +1 speed boost, a +2 boost to your special attack, and you will just fire off devastating Terra boosted expanding forces, and it will do a lot of damage. It's a really strong set, and it can devastate teams if they don't really know how to deal with it. Now we're running the same spread here because you do need the same speed you needed with the Choice Scarf, and we want to maximize our special attack to just get a lot of damage off. This Pokemon can pack quite the punch. Now, if you don't want to do anything too fancy and you don't want to be choice locked, this is a really solid set as well. As I said, Armarouge has a middling speed tier, so having just a little bit of investment in speed helps you outspeed slower Pokemon, but it also gives you the advantage to be used under Trick Room against hyper offense teams. So we're keeping the speed pretty low here, and we're investing heavily into our bulk. In this build, we're not running Expanding Force, we're running Psychic instead, because this isn't to be used to pair with Indeedee, this is just an all-round used Armarouge. You could easily run this exact build paired with Indeedee and throw an Expanding Force. There's nothing stopping you doing that. We're using that Life Orb to boost some damage, And we're actually going Terra Grass. Terra Grass is really, really good on this Pokemon, especially with Flash Fire. Grass will help you avoid those devastating water or ground attacks that will be coming at you. You will take a lot less damage from them. It also stops you from being spored by Amoonguss or Rage Powered by Amoonguss. It gives you a lot of freedom, and you won't have that fire weakness becoming a grass type because you have Flash Fire. We're running a Modest Nature on this build because we want to get the most out of our special attack, and this one's just pretty solid. I really do enjoy this build, and if you want to play just a very simple all-round Armarouge, I definitely recommend this one. Okay, now we're getting into my favorite set. This to me is the Armarouge set that I'm going to be running the most. This EV spread might look pretty interesting to you guys, and I'm going to explain exactly why. This one's a little more intricate, and I really enjoy it. First, I'll go over the moves. We have Armor Cannon, we have Psychic, and we have Trick Room. This Pokemon can actually get the move Trick Room and set it itself. Now we have Flash Fire because we definitely don't want weak armor increasing our speed on this build at all. We're running the safety goggles to protect us from Amoonguss. We don't want to be spored if we're going to be going for a Trick Room. And we definitely don't want to have to deal with that because Amoonguss will be faster than us under Trick Room. And the reason we're running the Terra Dark is because we don't want to be taunted by things like Prankster Murkrow, because that's a Pokemon that this actually matches up really well into. If you're running a team that's got pretty good offense and Tailwind support, but you want a slower mode, then this is probably the Pokemon for you. Having 92 EVs into speed with a Modest Nature gives us the exact amount of speed that we would need to outspeed Dragapult under Tailwind. Though this also makes us decently slow in the metagame, and if we set a Trick Room, we'll again become really fast. This can give your team that exact niche that has been missing, and it's a really versatile Pokemon. I love Armarouge, and this set, I'm telling you, is something not to take for granted. Don't sleep on this set, definitely try it out. It's really strong. We're maximizing our special attack to pack the biggest punch we can. You could easily maximize your bulk if you didn't want to play it that way, and then we're just putting the rest into HP. That could probably be more optimal, but it's just keeping us pretty healthy, and we're going to be packing a punch while being decently bulky and having a speed tier that could either be really fast under Tailwind or decently slow under Trick Room. And speaking of a set like this, let's get into the next one. This is actually a Trick Room Setter set. Now this one's really cool as well. So we're running the same thing with the Terra Dark and the Safety Goggles and the Flash Fire, for exactly the same reasons of course, though this time we're maximizing our bulk completely with max HP and max special defense. We're running a Quiet Nature though because we want to have minimal speed and we want to have a bit of a boost to our special attack. We still want to pack a bit of a punch. Now the beauty of this set is we're going to be using Armor Cannon and Psychic and Trick Room just like the last one, but we're going to be using either Wide Guard or Helping Hand, two really good supportive moves. Just this small shift in stats from the last build to this one have turned this Pokemon from a Trick Room sweeper into a Trick Room support. Now that's really cool. This mon can really keep your opponents guessing. They're not going to know what kind of set you're going to be running. Even if they see your moves, they're not going to know until they really hit you or take a hit to determine whether or not you're bulky or offensive, and I think that's really cool about this Pokemon. I've had a lot of fun with Armarouge, and I definitely think it's a Pokemon that you would love to try. Now I want to get onto the set that I think is really fun in singles. This is by no means completely optimal. Use these EVs how you want to. What I've done is I've maximized speed and health, and we're running a Timid Nature to get as much speed as we can, and we're running a Weak Armor Weakness Policy set. Now, this is so if we get hit by a super effective attack from the enemy, we get a big boost in damage as well as our speed boost from Weak Armor, and we have Calm Mind. So essentially we set up some Calm Minds, we take those hits, we gain that speed, we get that weakness policy, and we just sweep with Armor Cannon. We have Psychic. You can change that to Expanding Force if you have Psychic Terrain on your team, of course. And we have Aura Sphere, and this build is so much fun. I've had a blast with it, and I hope you guys try this one out. You could probably minimize the speed a bit, max some defenses in there, get a bit more bulk, play this however you really want to, depending on the amount of speed you're expecting to get, and the weak armor. I think Armarouge is just such a cool Pokemon. I love having something this versatile in the metagame, especially with Terra and all the possible different typings that we could use. Armarouge seems like a Pokemon that's kind of going to have a spot in whatever the meta becomes because it can just kind of adapt and be in there in any way. I don't think this is the best Pokemon in the game by any means, but I think it's definitely a Pokemon that can fill a niche on a lot of teams. So try Armarouge out. Let me know what you think of these sets. Let me know your sets. How do you like to run your Armarouge? I'd love to hear about it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.